Yo, what's up, guys? This is first time Yu-Gi-Oh posting on the second channel, but if you guys know me, it's most likely from the other channel where I post Yu-Gi-Oh videos every single day, pretty much. This is not going to be a regular occurrence on this channel, so if you want to subscribe to this channel, if you like this video or whatever you want to see follow up to this, let me know in the comments below, and also consider subscribing, but you don't have to subscribe because I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff here that's not Yu-Gi-Oh related. It's going to be other games, it's going to be other like interesting stuff that I find fun, or creative cool things that I think are worth talking about or showcasing or playing or whatever. So if you guys like me, you guys like the vibes, stick around. If not, just smash a like and let me know if you want to see a second part to this combo video slash deck list video that I've been working on really hard for YCS Las Vegas 2024. So first things first, this is a Dragon Link deck. Obviously, it's I think one of the coolest decks historically that Yu-Gi-Oh has ever seen. It is one of the most fun decks that Yu-Gi-Oh has ever seen. It's incredibly versatile. It's incredibly flexible. It feels like calisthenics workouts. Basically, it feels like you have a full range of motion when playing this deck, and you can respond to just about anything. It feels like you can play through just about anything. It's easily one of the coolest decks I've ever played. And these are a few of the combos that I haven't seen anyone else post, so I wanted to showcase some of them. And I also want to showcase my list for the YCS Vegas. It's probably not going to change too much, but it might change a little bit in the near future. First things first, I want to give a big shout out to Matthew Bricard. He won the French Nationals with Dragon Link a year ago or something like that. I don't know, roughly a year ago. Really strong Dragon Link player. I learned a lot just from watching him play, and I took a lot of inspiration from his list. So shout out to him. Obviously, that list is incredibly outdated, so I had to bring it up to date, and here it is right here. So the concept behind the list, which I stole a lot from him on, is that Absterrouter Dragon is actually one of the best extenders in the deck. It's one of the best cards you can draw in the deck, and so you want to just max out on it. It's the 3 of. And that's a bit different from your average, like, very small rocket package. The small rocket packages that you'll see sometimes, it's like 2 Tracer, 1 Recharger, sometimes a Caliber, and 1 Absterrouter. But we're playing the full 10 rocket cards. I think these cards are actually fantastic. You want to draw them. You want them in your hands. They're incredibly versatile. They help you play through everything. They're great in almost every situation. They're great going first, going second. They're starters. They're extenders. They're all of it. They do it all. They're my favorite cards in the deck, and they're kind of the reason to play it. So we are doing a full 10. It's a 60 card list in order to compensate for the fact that we want to play such a heavy rocket engine. Another next part of the deck is obviously the Chaos Space stuff. The Chaos Dragon Levianeer, the baby Chaos Dragons, they're incredibly powerful. Levianeer becomes an infinite sort of threat later in the game thanks to Starliege Safer plus Branded Regained. Regained is how you play the grind game, but that's not something I'm looking to engage in primarily. The way I want to play this deck is going first, I want to build boards. Going second, I want to break boards and OTK. I think the boards are they're a little bit flimsier than some of the boards we've seen in the past. There are some boards in the past where it's like Herald of Ultimateness, like Vanity's Ruler, like that sort of stuff where it's like, okay, going second really sucks. But in this format, I think going second is actually pretty strong because if you have gas, like if you have a hand that's like 1 starter, 3 extenders, you can usually just defeat your opponent pretty easily, which is pretty sick. So that's why this deck has such a high focus on starters and extenders and a little bit less of a focus on going second interaction, big board negates, big sweepers, and hand traps in general. So you'll notice lower count of hand traps. The Bestials do kind of count as hand traps, but not in most of the popular matchups, aka the fire decks. So they're like soft hand traps. I think the real hand traps in this deck are we have Gamma, we have triple Nib, triple Imperm, and triple Ash. I think these are the best 3 hand traps right now. There are some better ones in certain matchups, like Droll's better in certain matchups, Crow's better in certain matchups. And depending on what deck I think is going to be the most popular, or my team thinks is going to be the most popular for YCS Vegas, it may change which hand traps I main, but I think between Crow, Droll, Nib, Imperm, Ash, and Gamma, you cover everything pretty much. And I think that starting these is the best, honestly. I think Gamma is really strong. You do have to play Gamma because we are playing Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. He's super important in a lot of the combos that I'm going to show today because I'm going to do a little bit of a combo tutorial. This is one of the best cards that this deck has gotten in a long time, and I think it's very slept on for a lot of reasons. We'll get into that in the combo portion. I am playing Branded Beast. It is a little bit of a brick. I am playing the Horse package. I think this helps you with exactly my game plan, which is like force your opponent's 2 or 3 interactions and then just OTK them in the same turn. I think that these are some of the best cards in the game right now. I think playing without Imseti in your deck feels like a self nerf. So that's why we are playing the triple Imseti. We are playing Keb because he lets us go into Romulus because he's a wing beast, but I don't necessarily think he's better than Happy. The extra 100 attack points does come up a lot, so I've elected to stay with Keb, but Happy's effect does come up here and there as well. So you can pick and choose which one you want. You could even play both if you can find the space. I couldn't find the space. I'm just playing the one Keb. You could play a bigger Horus package with triple King Sark, but I really do like this package. It's also incredibly strong when you're playing triple Absorouter because starting Imseti Absorouter is insane, and also starting King Sarcophagus Absorouter is insane. So there's a lot of ways to get some pretty solid stuff going here. They give you access to the Zombie Vampire, who is not quite Chaos Ruler, but he's about as good as you're going to get in that type of effect in this type of deck. So I think this card is really strong, and I think it is worth playing the Horus package to go for it. The extra deck is pretty important to talk about. Like I said, it all plays to the game plan of the deck, which is like break and then OTK. So you want to break and then OTK going second, and then going first you want to build as good a board as possible. Dispatter is insane at both of those things. Baron, insane at both of those things. Borreload Savage, it's more for board building, but it's also pretty good to like force nibs and stuff like that, and to board break because he has such high attack stat if he does equip a decent link monster. Atomb, you need him for some of the combos. I'll get into that later. I think he comes up. I don't know if he's gonna stay. But he's been very good so far in the testing. He's kind of got that effect where that's a really strong effect. I'll just say it. It's a very strong effect. Zombie Vampire, obviously you got to have it when you're playing the Imseti cards. If I was going to cut a Tomb, then I'd probably go for like a heavier King Sarcophagus line, maybe 3 King Sark, and then maybe play another rank 8 Xyz, or I don't know, maybe figure something out that way. All the links, I think you need to have all these. They all come up. I think that these are like the bare minimum ones. The only one that you could maybe consider cutting is Dark. He doesn't really come up in some matchups. He's like very matchup dependent. You could even side the Dark, honestly, but I think it's fine to keep it. He has applications almost everywhere, and he lets you go into access code pretty easily. He can let you link climb, do a bunch of stuff. And I'm not really sure what I'd cut Dark for anyway, so I think it's fine to just keep him. But all the other ones are mandatory. I think you just need to have them all. You don't necessarily need the second seal. You can always put it back with Regained, and I don't really like playing grind games anyway. I think if you're playing a grind game, you're probably going to lose against a lot of the decks in the format, unfortunately. That's just the way it goes. I think the Fire King deck has an insane grind game, and I think Rescue Ace also has an insane grind game. So I think trying to play that type of game versus them is you're not going to win it. So I think having one seal is perfectly fine. And then the other cards in the sideboard are just like the absolute bombs that are easy to tutor. Sideboarding in 60 cards is very different from sideboarding in 40 cards because you're just not going to see them that often unless you have consistent tutors for them. I think that Drago is one of those cards that Branded is a terrible matchup unless you have Drago. So we want to be able to side in that Drago, and you can tutor it off of Seal. So any 2 dragons gets you to Drago, which gets you a win versus Branded, which, as far as I'm concerned, give me that free win. Give it to me. I want it. Pank is just a way to out stupid shit like Anti-Spell or like Floodgates or whatever. I think he's like the best non-tutorable card you can play in this format because he pops anything. So he can pop either big monsters like Baron, Force Barons, or he can pop back row. Like if your opponent has an Imperm that they want to set, then you can Pank, try to pop. And then on top of that, he also plays into the game plan of just putting a bunch of damage in play and just dealing 8,000 to your opponent. So really, really, really strong card. I think that it's the best non-searchable card in the sideboard next to maybe Fenrir. I think Fenrir, I had 2 Fenrir in the sideboard and 2 Pank, but I decided to go with just 2 Pank because I needed to make space for some other cards. I had a Fenrir over a Crow and I had a Fenrir over Soul Release, but I think you just really need Soul Release for the Fire Kings and the Fire Princess sort of setups. And yeah, that's the next package is the Thrust package. Thrust lets you tutor for normal spells, so you can grab either Soul Release, Feather Duster, or Lightning Storm. I think it's more reliable than to play Drago than it is to play D-Barrier, but D-Barrier could be better than Drago just because of how it is versus Branded. It's just like a win going first versus Branded. The reason I don't love D-Barrier is that going second against Branded, it's not terrible, but it's tricky. I think if you go second versus Branded with this deck, you're probably going to lose. Realistically, it's not a good matchup. I'll say it right now. I don't think this is the best deck for YCS Vegas at all. I don't think that this is the best pick, but I do think if you are going to play Dragon Link, which I am going to play because it's what I have experience in, it's what I've been practicing, this is one of the best ways to play it, is just have a lot of gas, have a lot of the updated cards, a lot of the updated, more powerful cards, and then just try to shove at your opponent with a bunch of strong stuff, more or less, and give them a lot of stuff to think about, more or less. All right, let's go ahead and hop into the combos. Maybe it'll explain the deck a little bit more. Oh, yeah, let me touch on the interaction. I do have the one call by, the one droplet, and the one triple tactics. Now, Matthew's list had, instead of these, he had triple droplets. And I think that would have made sense back then. Nowadays, it makes a lot less sense to main deck triple droplets. Because like I said, people aren't really building huge boards. They're kind of just putting up a bunch of layered interaction and like hoping you can't OTK them through that, and then they'll just beat you with the grind or beat you with the resource loop or with the follow-up. And I think having one of each of these is much better, because if you draw, let's say, 2 of these cards in tandem, they're actually all of a sudden insane. Whereas if you would draw 2 droplets in tandem, it's actually pretty terrible in the grind game. So I do think that like not grind game. Sorry, it's pretty terrible in the OTK game. It's better in the grind game, but you don't really want to enter the grind game because every deck can outgrind this deck, which is crazy to think because Dragon Link is such a very strong deck at keeping resources. But I think that you want to be more OTK focused moving forward. So having one of each, because they are hard once per turn. The triple tactics is hard once per turn. The forbidden droplet is, and Call by the Grave isn't hard once per turn, but it is limited to 1, so you can't play more than 1. I think that that's very important. And same thing with the Gamma and the Driver. I do think Gamma Driver is the best thing. You could play a different Vanilla for Red Eyes Black Meteor, and you could also just not play a Vanilla for Red Eyes Black Meteor, because in a lot of the combos, you just use him for a pitch, or you special summon him off Romulus or whatever. So it doesn't really come up. He's like more an extender in a sense that like he's an extra dragon that you can summon from hand, and he's an extra search off black metal, which comes up a lot. We'll get into the combos, and you guys will see why I'm playing these cards. All right, first combo I want to show you guys is combo in air quotes. It's just one card. It's actually Black Metal Dragon. And the reason I want to show you this combo is I've never seen anyone else show it. First off, I think it's I think it's an interesting combo. How often this combo will come up, it won't come up as frequently as some of the later ones I'm going to show you in this video. But I want to show you the power of one one Black Metal Dragon, because one Black Metal Dragon gets you to 5 bodies. And so that's basically what I want to show you guys with this. So the combo starts off obvious, normal summon Black Metal. This is the only play you have besides normal set Black Metal, which obviously wouldn't be much of a combo. You link into Striker Dragon, and then in this instance, assuming it's in a vacuum and you only have Black Metal Dragon, you would go Chain Link 1 Black Metal, Chain Link 2 Striker to Chain Block Ash Blossom from hitting your Black Metal Dragon. So that's what you would do. You would grab the Red Eyes Darkness Metal to start. You banish the Striker Dragon to special Red Eyes Darkness Metal. You'd use Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Edison Classic. Love this card so much. Bring out the Black Metal Dragon. Now the cool thing about Black Metal Dragon is he's actually not hard once per turn, and he searches for any Red Eyes card, which is really interesting. I've even theorized builds playing him and the Red Eyes Fusion that can summon Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Now that card is not very good because it's the only card you can play in a turn. It basically cold waves yourself it cold waves and heat waves yourself. But it is interesting that there are lists that could play that, maybe a more back row heavy focused list with stuff like the Buster Blader combos. You could play Black Metal Dragon and tutor for the Red Eyes Fusion. I think that's a slept on kind of interaction that not a lot of people know about, basically. You would link these 2 guys off, you make into Romulus, and now because you do want the Romulus more than you want the Black Metal Dragon, Romulus will be Chain Link 1, and Black Metal Dragon will be Chain Link 2 to Chain Block Ash Blossom. You're going to grab the Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, and you're going to grab the Dragon Ravine. Now Dragon Ravine will get you access to the rockets so that you can get those remaining 3 bodies. You're going to pitch with Dragon Ravine, sending the Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon that you just searched, send Absor Outer Dragon. In this combo, we are just using the Red Eyes Black Meteor as an extra card in hand to pitch to Ravine, and honestly, sometimes that's all you need. Absor Outer Dragon is going to activate in Graveyard. Because he was sent to the Graveyard, we can search a rocket. We get to search Rocket Tracer. We're going to Boot Sector, destroy our own Ravine, activate Boot Sector to special from hand, Rocket Tracer, effect to pop the Boot Sector, and then we're going to special summon out Recharger from the deck, make Pisty, and then make the Triple Burst, and Triple Burst can bring back or not triple burst, sorry, Pisty can bring back the Striker Dragon, and then we can link off into Borland. So we have what is essentially 5 bodies, link 5, from just one Black Metal Dragon. So this is kind of just showing off the power of Black Metal Dragon as a starter. It's by far the best starter in the deck. It's why we're also playing the 1-for-1, so we can play basically the maximum 4 copies of the Black Metal Dragon. And then also, all these cards that pitch 1-for-1, I don't know if I mentioned this. I probably did mention this a lot, actually, but 1-for-1, Chaos Base, triple Safer, Dragon Ravine, double King Sark, triple Imseti. We have like 10 or 11 cards that pitch. It's just best to have that with an Absorouter in hand. So that's another reason why we're playing the triple Absorouters. They're so good, and I'm going to use that as a segue into the next combo. The 1-card Borland is a cool combo. It's not going to come up that much. This combo is going to come up a ton. And this is going to be the Black Metal plus Absorouter Dragon combo. And this is a combo that you get a lot because you're playing 3 copies of each of this. You're actually playing even more copies of Black Metal Dragon than 3 because you have that 1-for-1. So you're playing 4 copies of it, actually. So this one starts off the same way every other combo starts off, which is normal summon Black Metal Dragon, and then you link into Striker. And same thing as the last one, we're going to go Chainlink 1 Black Metal, Chainlink 2 Striker Dragon to play around Ash Blossom, grab Boot Sector, grab Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. And now, like, at this point in the combo, like, you've already gotten pretty far, you know, you can go into Seal from this and search your, what is that guy? I forget what that guy's called. The Meteor Dragon, and if you have an extender, if you have any other extender on top of this, you can do this full combo with Seal as well, which is crazy. So any one extender on top of Black Metal Absorouter will get you to Seal plus this full combo as well. But we're just doing it with just the 2 cards because that's more likely, you know, low resource combos are better to show, I think. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, special summon, same way. Link again into Romulus, same way. And then once again, Romulus Search and Black Metal Search. And this is going to grab us the Black Meteor Dragon and the Ravine. And at this point, I want to Ravine, pitch Absorouter, send Saronir. Saronir is going to send... Saronir is going to be Chainlink 2. Absorouter is going to be Chainlink 1 to, once again, chain block that Ash Blossom. And then we are going to be able to search Rocket Synchron, Rocket Tracer from our deck to our hand. The names are hard to keep straight, but... You guys are seeing it visually, and hopefully, if I do make a mistake and I don't catch myself, someone in the comments will correct me. So at this point in the combo, you actually have a lot of deviations. This is basically where you choose what you want to play around for the rest of the combo, and choose what you want to make. I'm gonna show you a very basic version that doesn't really play around anything, but you could play around things in a bunch of different ways. You could special summon the Black Meteor from hand, sack that for Lubellion. And then Lubellion effect to place regains, and that way, if your opponent has, and then if your opponent has nib, they have to nib you on the Lubellion summon. And if they nib you on the Lubellion summon, then okay, you still have Boot Sector, Tracer, and you can at least like try to make something happen. That way, you'll have a nib token plus like a Borreload Savage. You know, it's like it's not great. Savage isn't great here, so maybe that's not the best. Maybe you would go Boot Sector if you want to play around nib. Boot Sector, special out Tracer, and then try to do stuff, and then have Lubellion plus Black Meteor for the follow-up. I don't really know. Maybe the correct answer was not even to search Ravine in the first place, and to go into fucking Seals to begin with, or I don't even know. If you want to play around Nib, this is where you would start changing things, but for the sake of just showing you guys a cool combo, because it's a combo video, we're not going to do that. We're just going to destroy our Dragon Ravine, activate Boot Sector, special summon Rocket Tracer, pop the Boot Sector, special summon out Recharger. And so now we're dark locked from the extra deck, but that doesn't really matter because at this point in the game, everything in our extra deck except a Tomb and that's it is dark. I think it's just a Tomb. Oh, a Tomb and Seal. So we can't make Seal from this point. We can't make a Tomb from this point, but like who cares really, you know? So we bring out the Recharger, and the Recharger is actually not going to be synchroned off with the Rocket Tracer because we don't have any links in our graveyard to make Savage. So there's really no reason to make Savage here because he can't gain his negates unless there's a link in the graveyard. I'm pretty sure that's how that card works, right? Target one link, equip one link monster from your graveyard to this card. Yep. So, yeah. Instead, we're gonna go for the little-known Romulus second effect special summon. So, we're gonna link Rocket Recharger into Guard Dragon Pisty. Now, this guy locks us into special summoning Dragon monsters. You cannot special summon monsters except Dragon monsters, but that's fine because Dragon monsters are the best monsters in the game. So, we're gonna go ahead and activate Romulus second effect, which is if a dragon monster is special summoned from an extra deck to the zone this card points to, which is exactly what's happened here. This red arrow in the bottom left corner is pointing to the Pisty zone. So we're going to meet the conditions for that. You can special summon one dragon or wing beast monster from your hand in defense position. But for the rest of the turn, its effects are negated and it cannot be used as link material. So at this point, we're going to be able to special summon Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon from our hand. And this is important to go for the combo in this sequence because Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, while he can special summon himself from your hand by sending the level 5 or higher normal monster, the Psy Frame from our deck, it will increase his level by 1. And that actually complicates things quite a bit. So we don't want that to happen. So that's why we have to go for the Pisty now. And then we go for the Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, special summon to the other zone Romulus points to. And then we can use this guy because he's 6 stars and Rocket Tracer to synchro into Bestial Dispatter. And then we can use Dispatter, obviously, to special summon back the Striker that's been banished off the red map. We can send the Bestial Dispatter, bring out Bestial Lubellion. Lubellion, place Regained, and then link off the... or Guard Dragon Pisty, bring back Rocket Tracer, link off these 5 materials, make Borderland. Borderland, negate the Tracer, bring out the Recharger, and then synchro into Borreload Savage Dragon. You could actually even take this combo one step further, link into Triple Burst first, and get a 3 negate Borreload Savage. I think it's marginal because, like I said, you don't want their turn and your turn. You don't want the game to go longer than that if possible. So you really only need 2 negates, but you could make Triple Burst there first and have a slightly stronger Borreload Savage. Like if you want to summon him in attack position for whatever reason, like it's game 1, you don't expect Lightning Storm or whatever, and you need him to have higher attack points, or you just need to have the 3rd negate because you know you're going to engage in a grind game, then yeah, you would make Triple Burst first there. But this combo is really strong because it gets you Regained in play, it gets you Savage and Boral End Dragon, and then it also gets you Bestial Dispatter in the graveyard. So it's layered interaction. Basically, like if your opponent summons a monster, you get to bring out the Bestial Dispatter. So that's pretty strong. So if they have like Dark Ruler no more, they kind of have to choose to use it now, and then you can bring out the Bestial Dispatter. It's actually pretty hard for them to break through that, plus the other cards. Now you don't have any banished cards for your Bestial Dispatter, which is kind of annoying, but that's just kind of the nature of it. If you had extenders like, what's that guy? Safer or whatever, if you had another Bestial monster in your hand, you could set up for this even better as well. But for the most part, this is kind of like the best setup you have here, because when your opponent summons a monster, you can special summon any Bestial monster in your graveyard. So you can summon back Dispatter, and he becomes, what does this thing do? You can target one banished card, shuffle it into the deck, and then if it's into your deck, you destroy their monster, and if it's your opponent's deck, you negate their activation. So it'll get you a negate later on, plus a 3500 body, which is pretty strong. And then you have the Borderland negate plus special back, and then you have the Borreload Savage negate as well. You have no follow-up, but hey, you know, it's a 2-card combo. What can you ask for? You could also do some other stuff with the Borreload Savage. You don't have to make Savage. You could make IP, you can make SP, you can make, like with those 2 bodies, you can make, what else could you make, I guess? Dark, if you wanted to have that Destruction, Search, Levy for follow-up type thing. There's some stuff you could do. But yeah, you could also make IP or SP, which isn't the worst, because if your opponent summons a monster, then you could just Borderland, negate their monster, bring out a monster, and then link with the IP and the monster into SP, which gives you multiple banishes on top of the Borderland negate and the Regained, bringing back Dispatter. And then that also gives you a way to get a monster in the banish zone for your Dispatter. So in a lot of instances here, instead of going into the Borreload Savage Dragon, I would actually go into IP Masquerena to set up for that IP into SP play, and then banish cards for the Bestial Dispatter that comes back. But that's just, you know, just all theoretical. This is just showing you guys the combos, showing you guys why Absorouter Dragon is so strong, because you have so many cards that want to pitch it. Let's go ahead and move into the next combo, which is another Absorouter combo, which is Starliege Safer plus Absorouter Dragon. So this is your other normal summon starter, the best normal summon starter in the deck besides Black Metal. So this is pretty straightforward. Normal summon Starliege Safer, activate, pitch Absorouter, search Noctovision, because they're both level 7. Absorouter's effect will activate. You'll be able to search for your Rocket Tracer. You could also search for, I think, a different rocket here. I'm not really sure. You'll link into Striker Dragon. No, I think you have to search Tracer. Pretty sure. And then you can go Striker Dragon 1, Noctovision 2 to Chain Block Ash Blossom. So you're going to go Striker 1, Noctovision 2, special summon the Noctovision, search for Boot Sector Launch, and then you'll link these 2 bad motherfuckers off into Romulus. Now you could, again, play around Nibiru at this point by going... Actually, I think both lines play around Nibiru. But this line also plays around Nibiru, but it's different. It plays around Nibiru differently, which is silly. But, yeah. How do I explain it? Well, let's just go into the combo and I'll explain it. Basically, because you have Seyfried in the graveyard, getting Romulus and holding Ravine can always get you additional plays because you can pitch whatever card you draw off Nocto to send Lubellion, and then Seyfried can banish and add back Lubellion, or you could send Chaos Dragon Levianeer, and you could banish the Seyfried to add it back. But Lubellion's generally speaking better because he gets you multiple pieces of follow-up, as well as that regained, which is so crucial for the grind games after you get nibbed. But you could also go into Seal here. I think it's still best to go into Romulus if you predict Nibiru, but there's some arguments here and there. Anyway, you want to go Chainlink. Usually you would go Chainlink 1 Romulus, Chainlink 2 Noctovision, and just hope to not draw the Ravine. But I've drawn the Ravine one too many times that I'm bitch made, and I will always Chainlink 1 Noctovision, Chainlink 2 Romulus, and say fuck it, you don't have Ash, pretty much. Because if they have Ash, then they can just stop your Ravine send anyway. So it's like you might as well just not draw into the Ravine and play it that way anyway. So we draw a card. The card we draw doesn't matter because it's most likely just going to be pitched to Ravine, which is exactly what's happening. We pitch the card that we draw. We send Bestial Serenir effect to send. And the reason we send Serenir here instead of just straight sending Lubellion is because we want to get a Bestial that we can special summon off of regained in the graveyard. So we go Bestial Serenir effect to send Lubellion, and then we go activate Seyfried banish, add back Bestial Lubellion. So the big difference here is if you expected Nib, you would go for just like Borreload Savage first, and then you would go Lubellion into Magnamit into regained. And then you might link off the Romulus and the Bestial Lubellion into an... I'm trying to think what it would be. An SP, maybe? I don't know. This is the wrong combo. There we go. We're back. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. But yes, that's what you would do. But because we're just doing the combo and showing you guys the full potential of it, we're going to do the Bestial Lubellion first here. We're going to go find Magnamit, and then we're going to banish the Absorouter. It's important to banish the Absorouter. All of your other cards have applications in the graveyard at this point. The Striker Dragon is a link monster for Savage in case you need to make it, in case they nib you here. The Noctovision actually has an effect. I don't know what it is. Whenever your opponent activates a card that targets a face-down card you control, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard to negate that effect. Also, your opponent cannot target that face-down card with card effects for the rest of the turn. So, like, if you have an Imperm and you want to set it, and you don't want your opponent to, like, Cyclone it or something, it's better to have the Noctovision in the graveyard. And then Bestial Serenir, of course, because of the regained, and then Lubellion, of course, because if you get another turn, then you can go grab the Branded Beast as well. So Bestial Magnamit, effect to search in end phase, activates here. Then we are going to sacrifice the Magnamit for the Bestial Lubellion. We're going to go search Regained, which is, again, the best card in this deck by far. But you don't want to play more than one, I don't think. Boot Sector launch, special out Tracer effect, pop Boot Sector, go grab Recharger. Yeah, and this is a very similar situation where we just go Guard Dragon, Pisty, link these two off into, oh no, not those two, sorry, these two off into Triple Burst. Yeah, I must have misclicked on that combo. But yeah, you link these two off into Triple Burst, Pisty, bring back Starleech Safer, and then you can go 5 into Borland Dragon, and Borland Dragon target Tracer, special summon out the Recharger, and then Synchro into Borreload Savage, and same exact thing applies as the last combo where you can make IP or SP as well here. I think IP has a little bit more play in some circumstances than Borreload, and vice versa, more or less. You make Borreload if you want to be able to negate triple attack. You make IP if you want to just be able to interrupt crazy shit. And this combo, it differentiates from the last combo because instead of having Dispatter in the graveyard, we instead have Starleech Safer, Banish, bring back Lubellion. And we also have that end phase search, so we're able to actually grab Druid Worm here, which is another reason why I think making SP is a little bit better than making Borreload Savage. So we end phase grab Druid Worm, which is really strong. If your opponent summons a monster, you can special summon Druid Worm, get an extra draw off of Regained, and then you can IP plus the Druid Worm into SP, and SP will give you a Banish and a Pop and another Banish. So you have a lot of stuff if you go for IP here. You just can't negate triple tack, which is kind of like, that's why you go for borrow load, is if you expect triple tack or if you think your opponent has triple tack. One of the biggest dilemmas of modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like picking what to play around. And a lot of the time it is arbitrary, although some decks do play certain cards, some decks don't play other cards. Like if your opponent's playing a Horus deck, you'll play around triple tack more than you'll play around Nib. Or you'll play around that sort of, you know what I mean? It's just like, that's just kind of what you expect to play against in certain decks, you know? And a lot of these combos, if your opponent has no hand traps, like you're probably just going to win the game anyway, no matter what you summon, because their hand is probably bad. So, yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm getting at here. But showing you guys the different lines and the different ways you can go for things, I think is the goal of this video. This was the third combo. I think I'm going to show you guys 5 combos today. If you guys want to see more combos, if you guys want to see play into hand traps, if you guys want to see matches with this deck, let me know in the comments below and I can show you more after this. But we've got 2 more combos for you guys. This one is really fun. I think Starlight Seyfert is one of my favorite cards. I think having Seyfert regained is like one of my favorite things in Yu-Gi-Oh history. So it's really fun to play, even if it might not be the best thing. It is just a really cool way to engage in the game and its mechanics as a whole. The next combo I want to show you guys is Bestial Sereneer plus Starlight Seyfert. It's a similar combo, but this one is, I think, a little bit more powerful. You get a lot of instances where Bestial Sereneer plus Starlight Seyfert is in play as well, and I think in those instances, I really do wish I had a Chaos Angel. So I've actually considered cutting the Dark or the Baron for a Chaos Angel as well. That's something that's like on my radar. I think Chaos Angel is stronger than Baron in that you can summon it more easily because it is a Dark. So even after you get Dark locked under Tracer, you can still go into Chaos Angel, which is really sick. And Chaos Angel is kind of a pseudo towers with massive attack stat that can help you get those big OTK turns that I think this deck really enjoys. Yeah, so this one starts off very similarly. Seyfert summon, activate the effect to search by pitching Sereneer, search Magnamit, and then Sereneer effect to add or to send the Bestial Lubellion. Then we link off into Striker Dragon effect to search. We grab Boot Sector Launch. We go for the Bestial Magnamit, special summon that, activate the Magnamit effect to search. And now I really like this combo because we get Lubellion on summon 4. So it guarantees we get regained in before Nib, which is really nice. So we get the Lubellion, we go ahead and grab the regained, and this is summon 4. So now we could even go for Seal, have Seal regained. We could go for a bunch of different stuff. If we go for Seal regained, then we can still Seyfert, add back Lubellion effect to search as well. So we'll have Seal regained plus 2 searches. We'll be able to search off Magnamit, and we'll be able to search off of Lubellion. And Lubellion could get us Druid Swarm, it could get us whatever, and then we could also utilize the regained effect to draw as well. So this is a very safe, it's one of my two favorite cards to draw in tandem, which is Seyfert and Sereneer, because it's safe into everything. Like it's very difficult for this combo to go wrong. Even if they ash your Seyfert effect, then you can still link into Striker, Sereneer, send Lubellion, right? And then you can banish the Seyfert to add back the Lubellion, and then Lubellion into Magnamit, and still have plays. Even under Ash, even under Imperm, like this combination of cards plays through everything naturally, which I really like. Yeah, so you grab the regained, and then you link off into Romulus, and then Romulus searches the Dragon Ravine. This is another reason why, like I said, I would like to. You want to play triple Sereneer, triple Seyfert, because yeah, it's just the best combo to open in your opening hand when your opponent does have interaction, more or less. Now you activate the Starlight Seyfert, you add back Bestial Lubellion, and then you can activate the regained effect to put back the Seyfert and draw a card. That's so powerful. Now we drew another Seyfert, which is obviously very good because we'd want to pitch it to the Ravine, but any draw here is good because we're going to pitch it to the Ravine to give us access to our rockets. So we pitch the Seyfert, we send that Abs Router effect to search. Abs Router is going to search for Rocket Tracer, and now we have access to the rockets, and we can go down all of the combo lines that we had before, basically, which is really nice. So we go Bestial Lubellion, activate his effect, go search another Sereneer. We have not yet summoned Sereneer. We've used his effect to send, but we have not used his effect to summon quite yet. So we can go for the Sereneer, banish Abs Router, activate Boot Sector over the Ravine, activate Boot Sector special, Rocket Tracer, pop the Boot Sector, I believe. Yep, special the Recharger, a little bit of misclicks in this one, but you guys get the idea. Special the Recharger from deck, and now at this point I can make the Bestial Dispatter. I don't know why I make Pisty first. There's no reason to make Pisty first, but whatever. It's the same thing. I'm going to make Pisty there later. I make the Bestial Dispatter. I activate his effect. I bring out the Bestial Sereneer from my Banish Zone. I go ahead and link off these two into Triple Burst. I go ahead and bring out the Rocket Tracer. And then once again, we have Borderland plus either Savage Dragon, IP, or SP. But the nice thing about this combo too as well is not only did it like naturally kind of navigate through everything, we could also we also have Bestial Dispatter in the graveyard to bring back off of the Branded Regained with a card banished, which is really, really nice. So the Bestials are really, really nice combo makers with Starliege Safer. That's why I really like them. And then, yeah, Borderland brings it back. So even though the Bestials are not like great interaction in the format, they're not like great hand traps, they're still so powerful in this deck that it's just like you have to play them. Like you can't not play them. They're just so strong. You could go into IP or you could go into Savage. I reveal the IP here to remind you guys to talk about it. Bring out the Triple Burst, get 3, and then end phase we search Druid's Worm. And so we have Druid's Worm, Branded Regain. Once again, this could be an IP or a Borreload Savage, just depends on what you want. Borreland, which can bring out the Rocket Tracer or the Rocket Recharger, which has a cool effect as well. And then Regain to bring out the Bestial Dispatter. And because we got that lucky Safer draw, we also have the follow-up in this as well, because we can Starliege Safer to both draw an extra card next turn and back Bestial and add back Bestial Lubellion. So even if they spend all their cards to break all our cards, we still have an OTK next turn most likely. So really, really powerful combo, Safer plus Sereneer, and that's why you got to play both of those. On their own, they're not as individually powerful as the Black Metal Dragon, which can go into Borderland all on its own. But in combination is when they start to get really, really strong together. So that's why I think you still want to play the triple Safer and the triple triple Sereneer. All right, and the last combo I want to show you guys is just classic Rocket combo, Rocket Tracer plus Absrouter Dragon. It's pretty straightforward. You just normal Rocket, special Absrouter, link into Striker, Ab, Boot Sector. So this is summon 3. You activate Striker effect to Ab back. Or no, you link now. So summon 4, you get to Hieratic Seal. And this plays around Nip. And you get to search your deck for a Rocket Monster with Absrouter. And you can go grab the Tracer. And you can Boot Sector. And you can special the Tracer. And you can make Savage. Or you can make IP, which is also good. So you could go Savage, IP, SP, whatever you really want to make here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple combo, but for 2 cards to get you to this is really good. And you do it under most forms of interaction, which is also really good. I do really like this combo. It makes me happy just to use Rocket Tracer and Absrouter, because that's kind of the point of the deck, right? Is to like use the Rocket guys to their fullest extent. This shows you kind of the versatility as well. Like we could go into a bunch of different things here. We could respond in a bunch of different ways. So reactively, this combo is also very strong. But for the most part, I just wanted to show you guys 5 quick combos. I can show you guys whatever else you want to see. How to sideboard against some of the meta decks, how to answer certain hand traps, how to do any of that stuff. Just let me know in the comments below. I'm excited to hear from you guys. I don't normally upload the modern Yu-Gi-Oh videos. I normally upload Edison Yu-Gi-Oh videos only. This is kind of me dipping my toes into building an actual modern Yu-Gi-Oh deck and building upon what I think a player has had a lot of success. Well, not I think. There's a player who had a lot of success with this deck in the past, and I'm kind of building upon that in a newer context and a newer setting. And I'm interested to see if I can have at least a positive record from YCS Las Vegas. I've never played in a modern Yu-Gi-Oh event. I don't really know what it's like playing the game nowadays. I'd assume that it's a lot about execution testing and it's a lot about playing under time pressure and that sort of stuff. But who knows? Maybe I'll have some success with this list, and maybe I'll need to change it a little bit before. And if I do, I'll do a little update video. And thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys in the next one. Peace.